Good afternoon, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey guys, I got a few emails. I wanted to address this today. Actually, I know they have this thing going on right now. It's called the Monster Bash. It's a group of individuals who do what's called the Horror Host Clubhouse, and they go to this thing every year. It's like a convention, and these guys always look for horror host footage. So I'm going to point this out to you guys now because I do get a lot of emails about this, so I might as well address it in a video so maybe these guys are watching. If you're part of the Horror Host Clubhouse and you go to these conventions and you deal with horror host video footage that you like to show off at these conventions of horror hosts that used to do it in the 60s, late 50s, going into the 70s, and you collect video horror host footage like I do. Yes, we do these, guys. I mean, I get a lot of people who contact me about television movie horror host footage. All right, here's the thing. If you're looking for television movie horror host and you have stuff that's on reels like these, they're probably type A. And like I said, I'm probably one of the leading edge people in the entire country that can convert these. So if you have anything horror movie host related, like Zachary from New York, even other hosts that are not even known, you had Vampira, you had all these different horror hosts that used to host horror movies in the 60s and late 50s. If you have horror host footage that's on reels like these, it's probably a type A, and I'm one of the leading people in the entire country that can do these. This is a type A machine. We do have it. So you might want to give me a call or contact me for transferring those tapes. Or if they're on IVC, we have one of the most rarest IVC 1-inch color machines here. This is an editor. We can do those as well. And other very old formats. But if you're part of the clubhouse, that's what they call themselves. They collect horror movie footage, and they go to the conventions and they show this stuff to individuals, and they do show I guess questions and answers to people, and they get to watch clips of early horror hosts that used to host horror movies, like the Svengoolie guy on TV, the Vampira and Elvira, all those horror hosts that used to host horror movies. There's a lot of horror host footage still sitting on tapes like this from the late 50s, early 60s, and these are unknown hosts. But the problem is, guys, the reason I started this business that I'm in, I've been doing this for 35 years, is I want to bring the impossible possible. This stuff is getting really impossible to get done these days. It's getting harder and harder and harder, especially somebody that can actually do it with a working machine. Here at Obsolete Video Services, we not only recover very, very hard to do video transfers, but we also rebuild all the equipment that we use for this. Case in point, this Type A 1-inch machine. This is something you will find television movie horror host footage on from the late 50s, early 60s, going from 63 on. This is the Type A. This is an extremely rare machine. And if you have anything that's horror movie host related, that's some type of horror host, and it's on a reel like this, and it's probably a Type A, I can transfer it. If you have it, it's done on an IVC. We have a special IVC editor. I can do that as well. But I want this to go out to the clubhouse. These guys they work very hard doing shows, and they do these conventions, and they collect horror host footage, and from television stations and stuff. Quite a lot of stuff like what I do, but they have tapes and they can't get them done because there's not many places that can do these. This is a Type A format, very rare. I'm probably the only one in the country that's got a new machine, and I actually can do these. This is a very rare machine. And if you have anything that's on the IVCs, these is just as rare as the Ampex 1-inch machines. But Obsolete Video Services transfers a lot of the impossible video formats and makes it possible. So you can get your recovery done and get them to files. So this goes out to the clubhouse. You guys are doing, I guess you guys are at some kind of convention right now, because it's going on right now. I don't know where. I think it's Philadelphia, I think. And you guys collect horror movie horror host footage, early horror host movies where they used to have a horror host in the late 60s, early 70s. Somebody, and if you're sitting on tapes like this, somebody at home might have recorded some rare television movie horror host. I can help you out, and we can transfer those tapes off. All right, guys, this is why Rick Thomas here at Obsolete Video Services does this kind of work. I mainly collect a lot of television movie horror hosts. I'm not really into baseball games and various different things. It's pretty much the movie horror hosts from the late 50s, early 60s. And I like, I basically stumbled into doing this work, and we restore all these machines and make it possible to bring this footage to light to video files. So if you have horror host footage from the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, going into early 70s, I most likely have every machine on the planet that can recover this video footage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video.